It's time, everybody, to go back
heck
to another world.
All right.
Or actually, Ni No Kuni. That's right. It's finally called itself the
Yes.
land of Ni No Kuni.
Yes, basically, since fans have been calling it, since the world itself never had a name for it in the original, they've decided to basically, basically say, okay, fans are calling it the world of Ni No Kuni. Yeah, sure, I guess we'll roll with that. Sure, why not?
And that is the first. I think it's the first time in a while we've commented on a game. Or we started commenting on a game the same year it came out.
I know, right? Good
All
job.
right, I'm playing on the PC version, and I'm using the best settings as recommended by Digital Foundry, since those guys are basically customizing gurus when it comes to PC stuff.
Yeah.
So basically,
folks, we have
by
a
the way, you can actually cap the frame rate at 30, 60, or even unlimited, completely uncapped, for those who have an amazing PC that can go over 60 FPS. In fact, that's
Well, isn't that nice for some?
Well,
It
seriously,
is.
believe it or not, this is one of the best PC ports of all gaming history. I'm not even exaggerating.
Yes, this port
Surprisingly for Namco Bandai to actually have a
well,
And
it's
for level, and
I
level
know,
5,
but
considering
level
that
5
level
did
5
it.
Well, level 5. I don't think level 5 had done a PC game before.
no, this is their first
No,
port.
this is their first, and they wanted to make a good first impression on the PC.
I wouldn't be
They did
surprised.
that.
I wouldn't be surprised if the multiple delays was because of PC optimization. Because ever since this port came out, it's been praised as an impressively optimized port. Take note, Platinum Games, please.
Even a low-end PC can play it.
or take McCoy, yeah.
By the way, I love. By the way,
Yeah, interesting
I'd
title
Rockstar,
screen with the
but that's-
tapestry.
a little brief thing of the lore and the creatures we're going to find. Sorry, narration.
Torn by endless war, where strong lands devoured weak, and peace.
And Shenron appeared.
And then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Two great realms
Yeah.
glaring at
They're not far off, actually.
You know, something I've noticed
Yeah.
about his stories, he seems to like setting villages on fire.
He does.
He does.
Hero secretly a pyromaniac.
So he would really love a Shantae game. Then.
My theory is always has been that because he grew up playing a lot of older
But we
RPGs
begin.
So
with the
we
President of the
started
United
this
States.
tradition. Oh, sorry. We started
in the
this tradition
United States of America.
Yeah.
And then Sonic drops.
on the
And then
freeway?
Sonic drops into one of the cars.
One
while
of
the
our main
person's having a
characters.
chat.
One of our main
Roland.
one of our main characters is Roland, the President of the United States. There he is.
Yeah, seriously. And then Sonic drops into the car while the president is having a chat with Dr.
Roland.
But then in one of the most extraordinary
What
beginnings to
the fuck?
North Korea fires a nuke on the city and kills everybody.
rolling
because
around
by
at
the
the.
time
Oh
we
my
record-
god, nuclear war!
It's funny because by the time of his recording, North Korea actually accepted peace and is dismantling its nuclear weapons. So
Yeah, that's
The heck is
My
going
God,
on
my,
with this
I'll,
world?
I'll just say this too. Obviously wrote the story before that happened, but
obviously.
So you're saying that
We need
Also,
a
he
new,
survives this.
this is I assure you, everybody, this particular cutscene is basically setting up the tone for what you'll see later. Because Ni No Kuni 2 is surprisingly political in its plot, as you'll
we
see.
need hang on, guys.
Yeah.
We need a new new
Chapter one.
nuclear missile joke thing. What do we have? We
The
can't
fall-
use North Korea anymore.
So yeah, much like in Layton, it's divided in chapters. Chapter 1, the fall of the House of Tildrum.
So we go from nuclear war to mouse kingdom.
Yes.
Don't worry,
makes
Jova.
sense.
Don't worry, Jova. We'll get back to that.
And an
There
evil
was even a
rat.
thunder.
Allow me to correct you earlier, Jova. It all changed when the mice attacked, not the Fire Nation.
Yeah.
And there's our
Speaking of,
protagonist, the catboy.
Evan Pettywhisker Tildrum, the future king of Ding Dong Dell.
Who everyone
Yes,
thought
he's gonna
was
be
a
a fe- he's
girl
gonna
the
be-
first time around.
Yeah,
It's like
gonna
Last Fantasy Tales.
And here's the first.
he-
And sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he's going to be king at the age of like 10. No wonder what's going to happen later on happens.
Oh,
Well-
my
well,
God,
Dwebs-
I was saying by everyone he means dwibs.
That's how it is in old monarchies, Dwebs. Every time
Yeah.
the young prince was the only one left, he would have to be crowned. It's the only way. But anyway, yeah, this is the original scene we saw in the first reveal trailer, so it's right here. One thing I would like to get clear right away, because it kind of is confusing because the Bamco PR got it severely wrong. But fortunately, we have an interview of Hino finally explaining that shit. Ni No Kuni 2 has nothing to do with the original Ni No Kuni. It takes place in an alternate version of the world of Ni No Kuni. Hino himself,
Even though we're in a place called Ding Dong Dell, where this
Hino specifically stated that yes, we have the same places, but however, it's like an alternate world. Basically, that's what he said. Anyway,
Hey, don't run away from me when I threaten you. I am the soon-to-be king.
go ahead, too.
Yeah. As soon as he shows up. Also, cell phone.
Yes.
Ugh. It was kind of a long shot.
No,
Service.
considering he's American, I usually will have Jova voice him. However, that would mean that Jova would be talking to himself a lot during this game, so Tay will be rolling.
I was on my way to the summit.
Not tonight. Okay. So yeah, Roland is kind of going.
So this has to be a dream.
Roland is basically trying to figure out what the fuck am I hallucinating? What the fuck happened?
This is some Metal
That's
Gear stuff right
alright.
there. A nuclear missile makes you travel to an alternate dimension.
Intruder! Somebody arrest this man!
Also easy ears.
Can I
I know.
That's
Can I
because
mention-
go ahead, Webs.
can I mention a slight issue though?
Go ahead.
What?
Okay, before any of you guys interject, yes, I am aware this game didn't exactly have the highest of budgets, even though Level 5 Bamco sold it at a AAA game price. So I still claim what the hell. There's barely any voice dialogue in this game.
Not really. There's
Most of it's just text based.
well, I will agree. Well, it is true that
We're in the year 2018. This game costs about as much as Final Fantasy 15, and yet there's barely any voice dialogue.
Honestly, if I'm to
Well,
be honest, I mean, that doesn't bug
question.
me as much because it depends on how much voice actors are paid for. Also, let's remember, Droops, this is after the voice actors strike,
Also,
so now they're getting
Joey
paid
Zashi
more.
wants to be sneaky. Anyway, question. Are there, those anime cutscenes done with the style of Studio Ghibli that were also in the first game?
no, there aren't. Studio Ghibli did not work in this game because, well, we all know.
Studio Ghibli is dead.
Basically,
Oh.
yeah.
Well, they're not dead. They're just they pretty much just hit the pause button.
However, the three key people from the first game returned to reprise their roles, aside from Hino writing and this time also directing. Yoshiyuki Momose, the character designer of the first game, came back to once again design the characters and bring on that Ghibli look, and Joe Hisaishi does the score. Anyway,
Isn't somebody from Ghibli actually now working at Level 5?
no. Momose was hired as a freelancer. He doesn't actually work, especially because now he's working on the new Studio Ponok movie.
Interesting.
Anyway,
Anyway, Droops, in regards to why there's not all this dialogue either, there's also a lot of outs with the characters talk while doing stuff in the overworld. And let me put it like this. Voice actors are not cheap. Like, I mean, especially after the voice actors strike. Like, sometimes they'll get paid by word, sometimes they'll get paid by the minute, or sometimes they'll just get paid by however long a recording session goes.
I'm guessing the
You have to be... Okay, unless you
that's
actually
cutscene's
know...
important.
Oh, yeah,
We'll save it for later. I can, however,
Nice.
tell you, Dwebs, that voice acting is present in the most of important scenes. I can at the very least assure you of that.
Pew!
Well, snap!
the president's
He didn't
packing
even
heat.
start in a proper not even numbers shows up. How rude of you.
What kind of metallic wand is that?
All right.
Well, dang, the president
combat-
sure knows how to.
All right.
throw
The
down.
combat of Ni No Kuni 2 is a mix of Rogue Galaxy elements and Kingdom Hearts elements. We have, much like in typical action games, we have the square button, or in this case X button for light attack, and a triangle/Y button for a more heavy attack. Anyone who's played like a Platinum Games game or something like that will already be immediately familiar with how this works. The square, the light attacks go by quicker, but they do less damage. The heavy attacks do take a bit longer to combo in, however, they're more powerful.
Yeah.
It also reminds me of the Tales of games.
With the blocking.
I'm willing to. I'm about what you were saying, Jover, about the voice acting not being cheap. I'm not so sure about that. I mean, my guess is the game's voice acting, English wise at least, was done here in the UK, and the UK rarely gets get big these kind of games to
Yeah.
do voice acting for. So I'd have thought we'd have been a bit cheaper than American ones.
Maybe it's the opposite effect, Waves. The fact that they're so rare to use, that means they also, raise their prices.
Or
Well,
that-
also-
But anyway,
A few of them
yeah,
have been in. A few of them have been in stuff like. I'm just reading from the list, but
right.
a few of them have been in stuff like Doctor Who and Waterloo Road and other known British shows.
Regardless
I think the
of
best
that,
way to cap
sorry.
it off, Dwibs, is like, well, for all we know, maybe it was just Level 5's intent for there to not be that much voice acting either. Like, well, maybe they only want voice acting for like the crucial scenes, and like for the rest of the ones, you can act them out in your own way or whatnot. I mean, granted, it depends. Pedro, how much dialogue would you say is in this game? Would you say, like, well, okay, obviously not Ace Attorney levels, but would you say that this game can be quite text heavy to the point
This
where
game
it
has
makes
a
sense
shit.
that they
This
don't-
well, it's a JRPG, Jova. Obviously, would be very text heavy. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay.
All right, I'll be Vermine. Just try. Sorry, never mind. This is voice.
Actually, they're voicing.
Yeah.
it's voiced. Doesn't this game also have the issue of sometimes the voices just stop mid-conversation?
Not that I.
Not really.
That was near, Waves.
Not that I noticed while playing. Neither in the PS4 nor in the PC.
So
that's
yeah, how nice. The Chancellor actually poisoned the king to death.
Slowly.
So basically, what happens, like, well, the rats are trying to take over Ding Dong Dell by.
This is This is an indirect reference to the original Ni No Kuni. If you remember, in the original Ni No
Yeah.
Kuni, the cats subjugated mice into living in the sewers. And however, in this alternate dimension, the mice decided we're not going to put up with this cat bullshit, so we're going to overthrow them.
It really does feel like this could be a sequel, so I can see why a lot of people may have mistaken it as such. Heck, I myself did.
In case you wonder, it's kind of based on some sort of folklore that the British people usually have about the mice actually organizing in the sewers of London and trying to invade the surface world. I don't even know where that comes from.
Oh, Evans voiced.
That face.
Evans voiced by Claire Morgan. She was in Eternal Diva, where she voices Amelia. She was also in some of the Assassin's Creed games, Inazuma 11 Strikers, and A Way Out.
So,
Huh.
so level 5 already knew her from past works. That's nice. Okay. Well, that brings
Looks like
yes, the mice have basically.
How rude.
Anyway, that's actually a good segue, Dwibs. Okay, aside from, of course, being developed by basically the exact same development team that made the first game, the localization of Ni No Kuni 2 was also handled by the exact same people who made the localization of the first game. Richard Mark Honeywood, the head of Level 5 localization department, once again heading everything, and just like so. Even though the voice act doesn't have as much voice acting as you probably would have wanted, I can assure, however, that just like Ni No Kuni 1, Ni No Kuni 2's localization is a masterclass on how to localize a Japanese game for Western audiences. The exact same qualities of the first game's localization are here, present, and accounted for, exactly like we expected.
So in a way, it does feel like an Ace Attorney game. A game with so much text that, well, it would probably be madness to have the majority of it voiced. Like, let me put it like this, Twibs. The reason Final Fantasy 15 is voiced is because Square Enix has the boatload of money to show it out. Any other company, though, don't go expecting near as much voice acting.
The same logic applies. Any character that has an Osaka accent will have a Welsh accent. The main character Roland comes from the real world, so he has an American accent, whereas the characters in the world of Ni No Kuni have British accents. So the same logic is still here, present, and accounted for.
Wait. I can't open the main menu during battle, but what if I desperately need to go to the toilet?
Dwibs.
Well, that's just pause.
Well, just pause then.
Yeah, you
So
can still
you're
pause
telling
the
me
game,
that-
Dwibs.
So you're
wow.
telling me
You
this
could
is
do a
by
jump.
chance of the Dark Souls of level 5.
Basically, Dwibs.
It's so Dark Souls you can't even go to the toilet.
I'm
Basically,
done with that meme.
let me explain
Yeah,
that.
sorry.
Basically, you
Yeah.
cannot access this particular menu during battle because, well, that would break the game. Because the way the combat works is during combat, and if you pause, the only way you can access is the item menu. And the way it works, Dwibs, is that you can only use a set number of items per battle. For example, you can only use.
I know.
Never mind. Dwibs knows he played it. Basically, Teo,
he's played
you
this
can
game
only
too?
basically Teo. Think of it like this. I'll use Final Fantasy terms for the sake of convenience. In this particular combat, you can only use 10 potions per battle. You can only use 5 high potions per battle. You start to see the pattern
I
here.
think I saw this already in some other games, but yeah, I get what you mean. Limited item.
For the sake of adding challenge to the combat, you cannot abuse your items, no matter how many you accumulate.
And that's another thing I will
isn't it
say.
like Kingdom Hearts? Again, you have the
Yeah.
inventory, the
Exactly.
item slots, so where you fill
The
the
main
potions
difference
and stuff.
between-
That's why I said, Teo, this is a mix of Rogue Galaxy with Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Go ahead, Dwib. Actually, that's Dwibs.
Oh, sorry. Leave me. I am fine. You must escape while you
You
can.
look fine there,
Sure.
dude.
So, right, let's leave the cat be.
Alright, so
Welcome.
much like in Kingdom Hearts, you can lock into enemies, not with the R1 button, but with the R3 button, aka pressing the right analog stick. You can switch targets with the D-pad left and right, so it's incredibly easy, as you can see.
Wow, that really is a lot like Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, I should probably mention I've recently started playing this game myself because
Oh, you already
it
bought
looks
it?
good for all. Well, hey, when I found out how good it works on PCs, I had to give it a look.
The PC version is actually I've played both. I own both versions. I can assure that if you have a top tier PC, this is the best way to play the game.
Yeah. Again, the gameplay for this, and that's not to speak slowly of the first Ni No Kuni's gameplay, but this gameplay definitely speaks to me a lot more than the first ones because hey, Rogue Galaxy, sign me up.
Not
Mixed
just
in with Kingdom Hearts
yeah.
stuff, too.
Well, it's not common at all because level 5 outside of Dragon Quest, they never actually make turn-based RPGs. Hino has always been more geared toward
The
the action.
closest they went to war for was Jeanne d'Arc, and that was a tactical.
That was a
RPG,
tactical one, though,
so
Yeah, true. Okay, he makes a good point. Yeah, outside of Jeanne d'Arc and Dragon Quest, usually Hino goes more for the action base. So this is just Ni No Kuni, being more level. If anything, this makes the game more level 5-ish than the first game, actually.
Again, there seem to be a lot of similarities with Rogue Galaxy in terms of a gameplay. Even with the fact that the gun is actually a sub weapon for Roland. For
Exactly.
example.
For those who are
Straight
not
up like Jasper.
For those who are not familiar, in the Dark Cloud and Rogue Galaxy games, you have two weapons. You have a short-range weapon and a long-range weapon. And yes, so you press R1 to use the gun as well, just like in
Of
Rogue
course.
Galaxy. So yeah, taking cues from their own old game, Rogue Galaxy, I'm sure they will appreciate that. And adding in some Kingdom Hearts combat elements, which if there's one thing people always like about Kingdom Hearts is the combat, so I'm pretty sure everybody will be fine with that. So yeah, as a result, we have a much more involved. Hino himself said, even when I was making the first game, I could tell that there was a new trend in JRPG combat. So basically, for the second one, let's have a more actiony combat system, since people wanted something flashy and cool.
I only just realized now, but Roland seems to share a lot of different poses with Phoenix Wright.
Allow me to recap
It's a
the dialogue, by the way. Basically, Evan is of course distraught because what the heck is happening? These are supposed to be my guards. Why are they attacking me? And of course, Roland was one who had to go. Can't you see?
Supposed to be my friend.
Can't you see? It's a coup. Anyway,
Of course, being a president, he would know all about that stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
That is another
sorry,
thing,
let me
actually.
finish though. Okay, this is a stealth section. Here's an interesting thing. Most of the time in JRPGs, when they have a stealth section to mix things up, usually if you fail a stealth section, most likely you'll retry. Like for example in Final Fantasy VII, when we're trying to sneak in the Shira company, if you fail, you'll have to fight the enemies. Well, it's the same thing here. Most modern JRPGs will just have you retry the stealth section. However, and keep in mind, Evan specifically told Roland right now, there's some red armor soldier. Those are much more powerful than the other ones. So yeah, we might as well sneak past them. However, if you do get caught, you'll be punished and we'll have to fight all of these guards to advance. So
There's also
don't.
another little detail.
So unless you're really good at using the combat system at level 1. Don't try getting caught. But I was actually able to do it myself. Teo and Shira were even there watching me try this out.
It's tough, but it's doable.
There's
Yeah.
a nice little detail also. When you pass by guards while sneaking in, you can actually read little bits of dialogue from them.
Yeah, that goes on for the entire game. Yeah, go ahead.
We made it!
Barely made it.
Also, I love the characterization in this game, and you'll soon see why. Well, you've already seen a bit why. Like, Roland is the guy who's handling stuff realistically. Like, and I mean realistic by the numbers. Like,
He's
okay,
the
he
audience
first-
proxy, basically. Like, being the fish out of water character, obviously there's going to be a lot of stuff where the characters explain things to him, which of course will be explained to the audience. So he's basically the audience proxy.
I think what really caught me though was how in a JRPG he pulls out the gun and just shoots the guy dead. Like,
Yeah.
dang. Like I
Yeah.
said, handle stuff dang realistically. Like, you don't get more realistic than that.
Roland has a very strong sense of justice. He saw the guards about to kill Evan, so his first instinct was to, okay, fuck that. I'm not gonna let you kill this poor kid.
I think you're using the 360 controller for this one.
Xbox One controller actually.
Xbox One.
I don't like the 360 controller. Okay.
That D-pad is a nightmare.
I don't have the USB
Yes, I
stick.
think you can.
I don't have the USB stick for that.
Let me put it like this, Dwibs. Your best
hold on.
bet is always to use
Oh, no.
Xbox One.
Oh no.
Basically, but to use the PS4 controller on PC, you have to get an accessory USB thingy, which I don't have. So, but the Xbox One controller works just fine for me, honestly. So I'll use that. Anyway,
So,
blocking.
Would you say we're trapped like
So yeah,
rats?
taking another good cue from both Kingdom Hearts and Rogue Galaxy, you can block attacks by holding a specific button. And guess what, Jova? Well, actually, no, Jova probably already knows since apparently he started playing it. And guess what, Shiro?
Only a few bits, but go on.
And guess what, Shiro? You can also dodge roll. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just
I
like
actually
in
tend to
Kingdom
not
Hearts.
use stuff like that, if I'm honest.
Well, Shiro, if in that case you won't be able to beat the hardest bosses in this game, because charging in guns blazing, charging in guns. Go ahead, Theo, go ahead.
I'm sorry to do again this comparison, but it kind of really is like Dark Souls when you put it that way. Just a bit more fast-paced, but the mechanics are pretty similar actually.
My guess is Theo Namco Bandai had something to do with that.
More likely, but anyway, Necromancer.
Go ahead, sorry, Theo. Sorry,
Yeah,
Jova.
reinforcement.
Jova, you specifically asked to be that sorcerer, so go ahead.
Yep.
Well, this particular part is actually just a combat session. Okay, don't worry about the fact that you're outnumbered here. You're actually not supposed to win this battle. It just goes into a scripted scene in a moment.
Didn't I win this battle?
No, dude, it's impossible. Unless, of course, you cheat the game and overlevel yourself.
You know, I know he thinks that this is a dream and all, but I still like how chill he is about all this.
Well, Shiro, being the president of the United States, he kind of has.
to maintain-
He needs to have strong composure.
Strong composure,
Also-
he's slaughtering a bunch of mice people.
Thanks, Nella.
Thanks, Nala.
So you can see guns, bullets coming your way, but not a knife from behind.
Well, at that speed.
She wasn't expecting it. So yeah, this is Aranella, Evan's aide.
Aranella!
Go ahead, Shiro.
Thank goodness you're alright.
Indeed. Evan, who is this man?
He's a friend. He's got a cool metallic wand that kills people.
Roland?
Yeah, Avada Kedavra.
Let's save the introduction until after we'll deal with these guys.
Yeah, that might be better. Yeah. All right. So like I already said, the L1 button does block. However, if that's when you hold it. If you do just press it, then you can do a dodge roll. Of course, combined with the left analog stick, so you can select which direction you want to dodge. So yeah, as you can see, the combat of this game is like Theo just said. There's elements of Dark Souls, there's elements of Rogue Galaxy, and there's even elements of Kingdom Hearts.
Well, we made quick work of them.
Thankfully. We're lucky you found us when you did.
Indeed.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Nella.
It's Aranella.
Dwebs,
I call you Nella for short.
it's an affectionate diminutive.
I don't care, it's Aranella.
Go ahead, Shuri.
I don't deserve your thanks. I should have reached you sooner.
Well, you reached us at the best moment possible, the last one.
Indeed.
Nella sounds like an insult.
But today of all days? How could they?
For the record, yeah, I don't think I said that. Heaven was supposed to be crowned today, and coronated today, and the mice took that as the perfect day to stage the coup.
Makes sense.
Isn't that the best day to make a statement?
Go ahead.
Exactly.
Who exactly are you, and how did you get into the castle undetected?
I'm Roland, and I'm as curious about how I got here as you are.
I am the first Italian president of the United States of America.
Dwebs.
It's just like one of my Japanese anime.
Brilliant. Roland helped me. He saved my life.
And don't question it. If an Austrian can be
go ahead.
governor, I'm sure
I'm
an Italian
beginning
can
to
be
see
president.
Notice how the characters in this game have a twinkle in their eye.
Yes.
Very well. If His Majesty counts you as an ally, then so do I.
And by the way, and as Dwebs can confirm for me, I'm not even saying just as a curiosity. There's even a plot point revolving around the fact that the characters have twinkles in their eyes, right, Dwebs?
I don't know. I haven't gotten that far.
Actually, you did. You did. I was watching you. Whatever.
He forgot.
Anyway, go ahead, Shirei.
That's
Forgive my
Twibs.
suspicion. I am merely doing my duty. My name is Aranella, and I have served as Evan's governess since he...
Yeah, she's his governess. We know that.
You're not just governess, though. You're a bodyguard, too.
Yeah, they tend to overlap.
She's a babysitter who can kick ass, essentially.
Yes.
I suppose you could say that, yes. Although, I never had to prove it until today.
Well,
Thank goodness that
Comes
training
in
meant something.
handy.
You never know when you may be usurped by rats. What's going on, Nella?
I just told you earlier.
Chancellor,
Mausinger.
Mausinger, yeah.
Walsinger has started a rebellion. He means to kill you. A
Oh,
small
he's
child.
He's
A
a
small
chancellor.
child.
He's a chancellor, and he's starting a rebellion. He's
Oh, and he
Mausinger.
was the most trusted advisor. Wow.
It's well, Dwebs. When there was there's so rarely. The thing is, the first Ni No Kuni had an advisor that was actually good. So was like, you know what? I don't know. We've dodged that trope, but
It's
that trope.
it's Isma, pretty much.
Won't work. This is no spur of a mobile uprising. This thing was planned.
Yeah.
How do you know? You've been there for like
meme
5
was rigged
minutes.
from the start.
Again, when you get into politics, you tend to learn a lot about this.
Not
kind
just
of
that.
stuff.
Not just that,
Politics
Dwebs.
of mice, half humans, and
Dwebs. An actual vizier will not do this thing like out of nowhere without proper planning. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Like, I mean, for as continuously evil as they may look, they still have to have good plans to actually get themselves into power.
Cannot go ahead and try to kill an important figurehead without planning that kind of thing. Your
Yeah.
plan would be doomed from the start because
I
you
mean-
have none.
I mean, Nick, World War I started because a band of idiots.
all right, everybody,
teenage
time to go to the
idiots
sewer
decided to
level.
do that stuff.
Yeah,
Most
well,
wars
at least we're
started
dealing these
because
right
a band
now.
of idiots got together and planned something, Jova.
Yeah.
All right, so Nella's plan is that we're going to try to escape through the sewers, since there's a secret passage to the sewers that very few people know about. So that's our best bet to get away from the mice.
So we're escaping from rats.
Oh,
by
that's
going into the sewers.
By the way, I didn't follow up on what Teo said earlier. Yes, Evan has cat ears. Oh, actually, no, never mind. Here's one of Shirei's characters. Go ahead.
Oh, Your Majesty, are you alright?
Don't you mean you're meow?
This is Persia. She's
Okay,
gonna.
apparently abandoned that.
This is
Is
Persia.
it read by like that?
This is
Yes,
This is-
thanks to Nell and Roland.
this is Persia. She's going to be an important NPC for later.
Like a Persian cat.
Yeah, I was
Very good, Teo.
Yay.
Don't you mean a Persian cat?
Mazinger's main attack appears to have been His Majesty. This part of the castle is far enough away from the royal chambers to have escaped his attention.
I hate my PC sometimes.
What was that?
Why exactly, Dwebs?
Because the video keeps buffering, so I'm just going to default to plan B.
All
Lower
right.
setting?
No, I'm going to watch on my phone. I refuse to watch I refuse to watch the video in anything lower than 720.
Fair enough.
Whatever. Well, might as well.
There's probably nowhere here.
Well, I'm sure
go
it might
ahead,
as
go ahead.
gives me time to explain anyway. Basically, and this goes back to the first Ni No Kuni, because we didn't talk about this in the first Ni No Kuni's playthrough, but so I might as well mention it now. Even though they're cats, they actually have an actual proper species name. They're the Grimalkin.
Makes sense since they kind of
The mice,
on 2 feet.
sorry, the mice are just called mice. They don't have a fancy name, but the cats have a fancy name called Grimalkin.
And this is exactly why they're starting a rebellion.
Exactly.
Oh, Shiroi,
like them.
trust me, you don't even know the half of it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, Evan here is half human, half Grimalkin. Why? Because his mother was human and his dad was a Grimalkin.
Aha.
As I'm sure, and as I'm sure Taylor will remember from the older games, he knows kind of probably a furry, considering his he loves having characters get like this, and this is just him being like this, basically.
Well, hey, look at the bright side, guys. At least he's not part human and
To
part
each
hedgehog.
his own, I guess.
Look at the bright side, guys. At least he's not.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Joe.
At least he's not part human and part hedgehog. Otherwise, we'd obviously know who was.
Well, Teo, I can at the very least. Well, Teo, I can at least tell you something. Teo. Let's just say there's something in common with Evan and Terra from Final Fantasy VI, and that's all I'll tell you for now.
All right.
So in Sonic 06, this was not okay, but here, we're gonna have a hybrid child.
It's okay when level 5 does it.
Not to mention, like I just implied with that comment I just gave Teo. Let's just say Hino's actually doing this for a purpose that you'll see eventually.
Hey, look at the bright side. At least it's not like Wheel of the Lion, where we get part lion, part elephant.
Also, his sword is literally called Rat Slicer.
Yes. The Grimalkin literally made a weapon called Rat Slicer. Let's just say, believe it or not, believe it or not, even the item names kind of foreshadow our eventual return to Ding Dong Dell later.
So let me get this straight. Grimalkins, you have a sword called Rat Slicer, and you're surprised that the rats are rebelling. Like,
notice, Shirei. Sorry, Teo, I have to put this out. Notice Evan's ears, by the way. That's amazing attention to detail, Mr. Yanai. Good job.
Anyway, you were saying, Teo?
Yeah, this sword was in the hands of the guards, which were rats. So
Teo, that's exactly it, Teo. The guards are being forced by their Grimalkin King to.
That's messed up, man.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, Teo. You don't even know the half of it. But again,
my headcanon is that they actually don't know the name of these weapons.
Seriously, only 31 minutes in. Seriously, only 31 minutes into this game, and already the lore possibilities are piling up in my head.
Mm-hmm.
That's just
Well, I can tell you something, Jova. And don't get me wrong, the first game did that greatly as well, but this game does it much better than the first game. The world building. The world of this game is incredibly well detailed, full of great people to meet, and full of great stories to discover. Not just in the main story, but in the side quests.
I'll believe it. Hina's got the eye bags to prove it.
What time are you guys at?
Go ahead.
Go ahead to 32.
We're almost at 32, so try to see if we can get there on time.
32:04.
Sure, that works.
I love how one of the NPCs is literally called Cowardly Lady in Waiting.
Yeah.
Little on the nose there.
Alright, then get ready, Libs, and click. There you go. Anyway, let's see what's in these chambers. Go ahead, Jova.
How do you get into the castle? I thought that all the entrances and exits had been sealed.
Yeah, that's a funny story, lady. We will get back to that.
Magic.
Yes.
So,
well, it's a fantasy game, so...
I wonder, is Roland the sole playable character in this game, or do you get
No. Jova, come on. Really? You're thinking that level 5 would do the lightning returns thing? No, of course not. We're going to have a total of 6 party members over the course of this game.
Nice.
Go ahead, Shiri.
What's that?
There's actually an in-plot reason why Evan is not battling right now, as you'll see in a moment.
Hide, quickly.
Okay.
Alright, we talked over it earlier, but this is the Black Knight. And no.
Hello, Purple Radiance reference.
And before you ask, no, he does not challenge everybody to a fight to the death like the one in Monty Python.
Oh.
No, he's just gonna kill us.
Let me guess. He's actually truly a tiny little guy inside all that.
Try the opposite, Jova. Tell and Bibbs know what I'm talking about.
He's several small mice children in a coat.
I mean, anyway, go ahead, Shiri. Sorry.
Oh, no, never mind.
But who is the Black Knight?
It's a knight who's black.
Another thing that also works is that since Evan is young and naive, obviously he can also serve as a way to dish out exposition.
Whoever he is, I don't much like the look of him.
Wait, it's a knight who's black, so what, you're saying that he's Martin Lawrence?
Yeah, I guess.
Go ahead, Shuri.
He is Mozinger's most trusted and most...
Seldom seen underling.
Underling.
If he's working for Mosingers, don't you think the royal family like me should know about that?
Very little is known about him, but it's rumored that he gained great power through the use of forbidden magic.
The forbidden arts. Well, Jova, like I said, he's still young and inexperienced, so it makes sense that he would not know all the details. And
whatever the truth of such tales, one thing is certain: if we face him, we will die.
And she
we're
means
not
she means
leveled
that
enough.
she means that unless you cheat the game and overlevel yourself, you'll not be able to defeat the Black Knight. And even if you do overthrow your stats, the battle against the Black Knight is scripted so that we won't be able to beat him anyway because it goes into a cutscene like that other one we
So
saw.
the game devs thought ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll need to be doubly careful to not draw his attention.
I sense another stealth bit coming.
Speaking of that, what are you wearing?
That's a very good. That's a very good question, Dwebs. Shira, if you will,
Yes, we will. What?
go ahead.
We can start by making you a little less conspicuous.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. That suit looks just fine. Though maybe that's just Ace Attorney bias talking.
I know you're a fish of water character, but
And
yeah.
now,
There we go.
a Full Metal Alchemist cosplay.
Pretty much, it reminds you a lot of the state alchemist uniform.
It's actually a guard's greatcoat.
Well, a really good-looking grain coat.
Stole from Square
Oh,
Enix.
yes! It suits you very well!
Well, again, if there's one thing that I always appreciate about level 5 is weapon and armor design. Those always look fantastic in all of their games. So, from what I've seen, it's no exception here.
Nobuyuki Anai is
Lucky there's something
as
on your
he's proven with older games like Yokai Watch, the PS2 stuff, and the Ni No Kuni games. Nobuyuki Anai is a brilliant art director, and as you can see for the Ni No Kuni games, he's absolutely mastered the art of cell shading. Because just like the first game, this is an absolutely gorgeous game. But anyway, this is important. Go ahead, Shiri.
What is it?
It's called an arms band. It's for storing and transporting weapons.
It's your dimensional pocket.
It's an in-game explanation of why we can carry so many things. Magic, basically.
So what do? Do you store stuff into the pearl there?
I'm not even gonna.
Jova, this is supposed to be a fun time.
But Shiro,
I'm not even gonna mention anything. I've already read it way enough about Steven Universe. I'm just going to shut up and move on.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That's all of yours. Unless you equip it to your armband, you won't be able to call it to its full, call on its full potential.
It's actually a keyblade in disguise.
I'm going to hand you another one. You'll need to equip that as well.
Wow, you're very trusting. You're gonna give us two of these.
She's actually gonna explain later that the moment she noticed the coup, she immediately gathered a lot of combat-related stuff to give it to Evan, and fortunately she does have spare stuff. So
nice.
Go ahead.
All right. So both swords need to be equipped to the arms band. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other weapon?
Oh yeah, speaking of that, I have this gun.
Airport security was a bitch. Well, there's my pistol, but I'm pretty much out of ammo.
Oh, don't worry, Roland. That's not a problem.
That was a semi-automatic. Those are don't they usually have 24 shots?
Go ahead.
He probably was using them up.
Not to worry. Weapons equipped to an armband will have their ammunition replenished automatically.
How convenient!
Thank you so much.
Second Amendment, hell!
Okay,
wow.
for the record.
Yeah, this reaction is pretty genuine.
For the record, what this means in the gameplay is that when you shoot your gun, what you spend is MP, not bullets, basically. As long as you have MP, you can use your gun.
And this is another reason I love Ron. Like Teo said, his reactions are just... Again, what would it be like if a realistic person was reacting to a JRPG in, well, pretty much realistic manner?
Goodie!
That sounds like a reaction Dwebs would have.
Yeah.
Why do you think I enjoy playing DMC so much? I can shoot the enemies endlessly.
Yeah,
anyway,
that's the reason I'm so.
I know it's the weakest
I don't like looking. I don't like looking for ammo.
We know the basic gist of it. Aside from that, from weapons, the arms band also serves to equip items like
payback.
And also equip skills. On the skills tab, you can assign spells and abilities your party members will have learned to the skill palette, allowing you to access them quickly and effectively during battle. Basically, Jova, you know how in Kingdom Hearts we have the shortcut menu, which allows you to map various spells to it?
Mm-hmm.
We also have that in here, right there.
Oh, wow, this really is Kingdom Hearts-esque, and I like that.
Right there on the bottom right corner, you can press right trigger to access the skills menu, which will allow you to pick 4 of different skills. And the waystones from the first game return. Nobody knows who put them there or when, but hey, they're convenient save points that heal our HP and MP, so might as well use them, right?
We're never gonna find out that mystery.
Well, gotta leave
well,
something
I
up
guess
for the
it's-
imagination, I guess.
Or who knows, maybe it'll get explained in Ni No Kuni free.
Well, considering
Which-
considering Jova's country has been eating this game up because the launch month,
Oh, yeah,
the
this
launch
game is
the launch month of Ni No Kuni 2 in America was 60% more profitable than the first game.
Yep, basically. I mean, well, this game really does tap into a lot of our interests. Mine as well. And hey, the American president is a playable character. I mean,
It's mostly because, remember, back in the 90s, Europe was very dry on JRPGs because they mostly only came to America, not Europe. So Americans obviously have a lot more nostalgia for JRPGs than we do because they actually had them back then, unlike us. So.
And since Japan's not really into anything that's, not portable these days, yeah, America.
Well, yeah, that's actually a good segue, Joe, before we go. Fun fact, Level 5 was originally not even considering not even releasing this game in Japan. And it's abundantly obvious if you follow the marketing like I have, because it was literally months before we finally had some actual evidence that there was Japanese voice acting in this game.
Yeah, it's like the first you saw of it, English.
Eventually, though, they realized that might as well, I guess. Why not? Anyway, see you for the next part, everybody, where we go into the sewers. So see you then.
See you
Yeah.
then.
See ya.